Hey, you guys, it's not them, it's you. This is what I want to talk about tonight. And I'm not talking about that bullshit story you tell somebody you're dating when you don't have the courage to tell them I'm just not into you. I'm talking about just about all the relationships. Oh, there goes my gong. Again, right? Just all the relationships, whatever relationships we're in, it's not them, it's you. Okay? And so what's prompting this talk tonight is one of my team members came to me in a panic this week saying, like, oh my God, Winter, my wife and I need coaching from you because our parents are making us crazy. Okay? And they're adults, they're married. And I thought, I was like, how can I pay you? We'll trade services. And I'm like, oh no, my love. I'm going to do this for free. This is going to be a public service announcement to my audience. I'm going to make a video because this is really universal. Okay? It's not them. It's you. And what I mean by that is you are the only one you can control. So in addition to my teammate, right, like my team member, my clients come to me almost every week, just dying to tell me what the person in their life did or didn't do, or how they're behaving. Okay, this could be their intimate partner, their adult children, their parent, their elderly parents, their employees. Okay, right, like this is what they're doing. And they're making me crazy, all the things. And I can appreciate that, right? I have a lot of those situations going on in my life. But my teammate specifically is talking about his parents, and parents are particularly special, right? Because we didn't choose them. Well, that's a story for another day, right? Perhaps we did. And in this life, they're the parents with whom we're navigating this world with. And the lesson is still true regardless of what relationship you're navigating in your world, right? So parents have expectations, right? So in my teammate's situation, right, his parents come from an old school, right? They're Indian old school, right? So my parents are, well, just my mom now, my dad's gone, Portuguese, old school. And I can appreciate that old school mentality, okay? And I was raised in that old school way, okay? And a lot has changed since then. And even most recently, like right now, we are in an age of rapidly ascending, evolving, expanding energy, consciousness, and awareness, okay? And that's for my generation, this younger generation. My team member is a younger generation. But the connections are the same, aren't they? So, and parents, so they have an expectation, right? And this might be true with your intimate partner, right? So like the parents have an expectation of what and how you should be doing things. How you should be living your life, how you should be running your business, how you should be raising your children, all the things, right? Insert your thing here. And so like, what do? We can't control them. And that's where we get into trouble, is we try to control their behavior. You can't control their behavior. The only behavior that we can control is our own. And that is challenging enough, isn't it? That's right. So what we can do is navigate our emotions so we can stay calm and peaceful during a period or a time of adversity or confrontation, and establish boundaries, right? So tell the people who in question who are trying to tell you what to do, right? This could be a loved one, a parent, a sibling, a lover, a friend, whatever. people just love to tell you what to do, don't they? I know, I do it too, although I'm pretty aware, and do my very best to minimize that kind of behavior. And it's so funny, right? Because like my clients are paying me and they ask me, what should I do? What should I do? And I don't tell them what to do. Right. So like my job, a good coach, right? So like a good coach, I'm getting ahead of myself. A good coach will not tell you what to do. They're going to help you find the answers themselves. Okay. And sometimes I do give you assignments, right? I go do that. But in this instance, right, like we need to navigate and determine how can we navigate this relationship? How can we navigate this situation where my loved one, in this case, my teammates' parents are trying to tell me what to do? Well, you can establish a boundary, right? Like, I don't want to hear that from you. That's interesting. Thank you for your opinion, but I really don't want this. I really don't want your opinion, or you're telling me what to do, or whatever appropriate language is for you to let your parents know or your loved one know that no, their advice is not welcome, right? One of my former clients once taught me that unsolicited advice is criticism, and that feels true for me, and I'm passing that on to you so you can share that with whoever is trying to insert advice in your life where it isn't welcome. Okay. And then, so you establish the boundary, right? And this is like one of the things that I spend the most time with my clients, right? Is establishing, getting clear what your values are, creating boundaries around that, and then establishing and helping communicate them to the important people in their lives, and then enforcing them. This is hard shit. Okay. This is hard shit, right? So then enforcing them means, what are the consequences when boundaries that have been communicated are violated? Okay. Because so in my team member's case, he's going to tell his parents, thank you for your opinion, but that's not how I choose to live my life. Your advice is not welcome. Please keep it to yourself unless I ask you for it. That's likely going to cause friction given the change and the differences in cultures. Now they're old school, he's new school. And that's going to take some navigation. That's going to take some doing. This is where meditation, release work, and a good coach can come in, right? The meditation and the release work is going to give you the ability, the strength, the focus, the awareness to be able to engage, to remain calm and peaceful and engage in this conversation without being triggered by the person who's pushing your buttons, right? So again, this is especially tricky with parents because they sewed your buttons on, so they know how to push them. And this is also true for your adult children, perhaps, and or your intimate partner, especially if you've been together for a long time. They may know how to push your buttons, and they're your buttons. Who can you control? You. And even that is hard enough. All we can control is what we say, what we think, and what we do. Okay? So back to establishing boundaries, communicating them, and then enforcing them, right? Then you need to decide what happens when and if the boundaries are violated. Okay? Well, is this relationship worth perpetuating? Okay? And you're like, oh, they're my parents. I can't leave them. You can determine what, if any, amount of access they have to you and your life. Okay? In regards to the intimate partner, you can determine, right? So this is like what I posted about yesterday or day before in writing, right? Like the hardest thing of manifesting what you want is saying no to what you don't want, right? So if you want peace and calm, so my team member wants peace and calm in his heart, in his home, and in his marriage, then he needs to establish boundaries with the outside forces that are trying to disrupt that peace and calm, right? He can't control them. You can't control the other people. All you can control is yourself. And again, the biggest way you do this, meditation and release work and prayer, right? So you can stay calm, cool, and collected while you communicate your boundaries. And then if they continue to be violated, then you need to determine how you're going to enforce them. Okay, there needs to be consequences to the continued violation of your boundaries. Okay, and this is where a good coach or mentor will come in. They'll help you navigate these situations, because like when you're in the shit, I don't know if that broke up, it's hard to do, and you can get sucked in, and then an outside impartial observer can help you get back on the straight and narrow, remind you of what it is that you do want, right? That you said you wanted in your life, right? So in my team member's case, he wants peace and calm in his home, in his life, in his marriage. And so that's going to require standing up to his parents and maybe removing himself from the situation or distancing himself from his parents as he deems fit. And I heard from one of my teachers today, right? She said something that was really powerful. I was listening to her podcast, and she said that, like regarding your parents, right? We need to accept them as they are. If we're going to have whoever we're going to have in our life, right? Particularly our parents, because many of us believe we didn't choose them. I now believe that we did choose each other, right? And right, they're our parents. They're not as easy to walk away from as, like a relationship, for example. Those aren't easy to walk away from either. Our parents are exactly who we need them to be in order for us to become who we need to be. And I heard that from Dr. Kelly Brogan today. And that really hit home for me, because I still have my mom, and for which I'm so grateful. And I love her dearly. And she knows how to push my buttons because she sewed them on. So get clear on what you want out of the situation. Establish and communicate boundaries. I believe people want to honor our boundaries, and our old world parents are a very special breed. I get that. Okay. And pray and meditate and do your own inner work so you have the strength and agility and ability to do what's right for you. I'm going to leave it at that, okay? If you don't have a regular meditation practice or you're not meditating in silence, I invite you to get my meditation starter kit. And even if you're doing guided meditations, this will up-level your meditation practice to silence. Silence is badass. And if you're like, Winter, I'm already doing the things and these people are still making me crazy, I have room in my schedule for one private client. So DM me. We can talk about how and if I can help you. Okay? So that's that. I hope this serves you. I look forward to seeing you again in the next video. And until then, I'll see you in the gap. Much love.